5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about breaking news today. Okay, what a day. I was going to do this live, but it's after 5:30, so I thought I'd just get this up. Have to do it in under 10 minutes, but hang on. So, first I wanted to say, here's an article from Forbes, May 25th, 2023. And Mario Diaz, CEO of Pier 39, gives you ways to avoid made-for advertising sites. And if you're not familiar with these are sites that are basically clickbait. AI can now create thousands of them, okay? And myself, I've learned not to click on them, but there'll be things like they'll show a picture of a famous movie star that was popular when I was a boy, maybe like Annette Funicello. Yes, I had a crush on her in probably 5th grade or something. And they'll say, this is what she looked like then, this is what she looks like now, or you won't believe what she looks like now. And then you'll click on the link. I don't do this anymore, but I used to get tricked into it. I thought, I wonder what she looks like now. Probably a wreck. Anyway, and then you would see picture after picture of aged stars and starlets, and maybe never see Annette Funicello. She was on the Mouseketeers. That's where I saw her. Anyway, and so but in the meantime, hundreds of ads would be popping up on your screen, and each one of them would probably drop little cookies on your computer, so that if you ever responded to a legitimate ad, it would look like this ad triggered your response, a way to take all the credit away from off-site advertising, right? Or you walk into a store and decided to buy something, or you got a mailer and decided to buy something. Okay, so it's very, very powerful, and it lends itself to the kind of goofy analytics that digital has. Okay, and so this is an excellent little article about how to avoid the trap of putting your ads on these sites where the main things that click them are bots. And that's part of what Dr. Augustine Fou advises on. Well, it turns out that Forbes got caught in the cookie jar. Forbes actually has, or had, a website called www.forbes.com. And this is a report that came out last week or two. It says, does Forbes operate a made-for advertising pages, basically a subdomain on their regular domain? And this particular report is 146 pages, which you can have all of it if you want, okay? And it actually compares the sites where Forbes has their own material on the Forbes.com versus the Forbes articles that are maybe less popular. A friend of mine started writing on Forbes, and she got 5,000 impressions the first article, and she was down to like handfuls, like 30 by the time she quit about 18 months later. I think it was Katie Muldoon, actually. And so she quit doing it. And so the Forbes has a lot of people writing for them that aren't well promoted by Forbes, but they might put them over here on this site. But when you see the same article, this article shows, you get hundreds of ads being popped up. So when you see something on Forbes.com, you get 5 ads. When you see it served up on Forbes, on www.3forbes.com, you get over 250 ad impressions. Okay, and so Dr. Fou featured this article or this report on his own posts on LinkedIn. and I saw it. And Dr. Fou, it says here that ad verification vendors who are observed receiving telemetry on page misdeclarations in ad auctions on the hidden www3 subdomain of Forbes.com. Okay, so Dr. Fou's clients and Fou Analytics are given a little Java code or something, a little like a cookie. And when ads of the clients appear, this little code tells Fou Analytics where the ad appeared. Okay. Now these other ones might have the same thing, but everyone else has these monikers on it. Seal denotes that this company has achieved the Certified Against Fraud seal from the Trustworthy Accountability Group tag. And this one says accredited for sophisticated invalid traffic detection by the Media Ratings Council, i.e. MRC. Now I noticed, here's Dr. Fou's post, that he highlighted these other 5 vendors. His is included in the report, but notice his does not have these seals of approval. Okay, and so I wrote to Dr. Fou and I said, okay, in your image above, I noticed the Fou Analytics was listed with other ad verification vendors receiving telemetry on pages with misdeclarations. So what Forbes did was when they were selling ads, they designated the www3 as regular Forbes.com. So advertisers thought they were buying Forbes.com, but in fact they were buying this made for advertising site. And it's been up for 7 years. And so Dr. Fou wrote back a wonderful little reply here, and he said all of these other vendors had the pre-buy designations and could have had the post-buy metrics. Dr. Fou did not get the pre-buy. So all his analytics knew was it was not the real Forbes site. The others had both, but they didn't report on it, and this site's been up for 7 years. Okay, and I said, excellent, perfect. So I said, does this mean we shouldn't buy media like it was 1995 and work directly with the publishers instead of with these automated ad buying services? Or does it mean that the ad sellers are in on the scam of false clicks? And Dr. Fou's reported on all these sites get clicked on by like crazy by bots, but not by real people compared to the real sites. And he said, Forbes crossed over to the dark side. Publishers also could not resist the temptation to juice the numbers. So it could be that your publishers that you think are legit are putting your ads in places that get tons of clicks by bots, but not by people. And I talked about this earlier in the week, and I talk about it regularly from Dr. Fou. But wasn't it wonderful that Dr. Fou would write back and explain it to me, who doesn't understand digital except to know that it's massive, massive fraud. And then Forbes wrote back, and they said that they only did about 1% of their posts. And there was another post on Dr. Fou's site that said, or on his post that said, and I'll link to that woman who who regularly talks with Dr. Fou. But she said, isn't it great that Forbes only has a little fraud on their ad sites? Well, that's all I can say for today because I have to finish this in 10 minutes or less for LinkedIn to accept it. Have a great day. Like and share. Go over to Dr. Fou's posts and find the real answers. Bye-bye.